What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we are going to get back on Ryan's LTD. You guys have seen this thing a few times. We had a video on it a couple months ago, and then last year we had it on the dyno. This year we hope to have a lot of videos of racing the thing and just using it for what Ryan really put it together for, and that's beating the crap out of. Maybe he'll let me beat the crap out of a time or two.
Maybe.
All right, so to bring you up to speed on this thing, last you saw this car, we cut the front end off of it. Definitely learned that that was a mistake. I don't know if it was a mistake, but the front bumper that we have to put back on weighs just as much as the front clip that we cut off. So it's going to save us like 15 pounds by the time we put all the metal back in it. But it will look cooler and look a lot nicer. We kind of did this one night randomly. We didn't even mean to knock the front end out. We started at like midnight just screwing around with our new tubing bender we got over there, and we ended up just tacking some tube on and knocking the front end out. This is the first time we've ever done a tube front end like this, so it kind of just happened. We didn't even mean to do it, and then it was like 3 o'clock in the morning before we knew it, and we had to go home. Got the tubing notcher over in the other room and got this thing fitting real nice. We spent good amount of time just making it look super nice. We don't have the bottom bar in it yet. A lot of guys run a radiator support down like this. We're not putting the radiator in normal. We're going to lay the radiator down. So we're going to put the engine and tranny in, mount the turbos and all that, and then decide where we're going to put this cross brace according to how we've got the radiator laid in there. So they'll kind of look like they go together instead of the radiator support going way down and then it being in the way of the radiator and stuff like that.
So in the meantime of waiting for our tubing bender to get here, it took what, 6 weeks to get here almost?
Yeah, we bought a pile of junk tubing bender.
Yeah, long story. But anyways, I decided it was a great idea to fill all the holes in the firewall and the strut towers and all that. It's been way too much work, but I guess it should be worth it in the end, I guess. But it looks good, kind of, if you're not a body guy, but doesn't look bad, I guess. But in the inside, really kind of wanted to try to lose a bunch of weight off of this thing. So the thing was way too heavy and weighed 3,600, almost 3,600 with me in it. And I figured I had to do something about that. I put a bunch of Dynamat on the bottom of the floor because I wanted it to be quiet, I guess. I don't know. But originally put it together, do drag week and all that, and decided I don't need any of that crap, and took all of it out. It was probably 40 pounds or so. And between that and I stripped a bunch of the wiring out of the car, decided I wanted to keep power windows. So I didn't really feel like trying to find crank windows and all that stuff for this thing. So kept all that. Then I stripped all the wiring out, like I said, and built this little panel I got here that still need to clean up just a little bit. But I've got this leash street strip board that runs headlights, turn signals, all that stuff. Makes it really easy to do all the inputs and stuff. Got a lightweight column in it with a kind of a tube mounted turn signal switch over there, which makes it super easy and super nice to put all together. But I think I've taken so far about 300 pounds out of this thing. I know I can get quite a bit more, but every little bit counts. Took the big old nasty factory seats out of it, which has turned into a cat bed, I guess. So I'm gonna put a set of Kirkies in it, and they're sitting right there. Got the brackets and everything all fixed up on them and ready to go in there once I put the carpet and stuff back in there, and she should be pretty much ready to go as far as that goes. But today I think we're gonna start mounting the turbos up and putting the engine in it and trying to get a little more work done. For the turbos, I've got their mirror image, which are pretty cool. They're Force Performance. They call them an HD 7875. They're a T4 housing.
We're gonna toss this thing in there. Flowtech headers. Thinking we're gonna be able to go down with them. Don't want to go up because, I don't know, to me that looks kind of ugly. Looks a lot cleaner when you go down with them. So we're gonna go ahead, toss this motor in there, get the headers out of there, throw them on, and start mocking this thing up to mount the turbos. Alright, I think we're gonna call it a night. We've kind of got an idea. We had these things flop the other way, and compressor housing is going up like this. Kind of like a, what do we call it? Like a Nelson Racing looking intake or something like that the other day. Didn't really like how it ended up looking, so we ended up flipping them back this way. It'll look neater. They're both gonna kind of be forward facing into the grill, but kind of point back toward the intake like that. I would like to cut this maybe, shove them forward, give us a little bit more room back there. But right now, that's all we got. Like I just said, we're gonna call it a night and pick up tomorrow. All right, so it's probably been about a month since the last scene that you guys just watched. We kind of pushed this thing aside, got ready for some races, and pretty much to bring you up to date, and then we'll continue on to this thing. We went ahead and made these fancy little stands because we had the cherry picker and we couldn't close the hood. The turbos kept swinging and everything. It was kind of annoying, so made those little stands to get the turbos up where we want them. We could close the hood, make sure our hood clearance is good. We got tired of the turbo swinging around. We couldn't really get good measurements on it, and being that it's twin turboed and mirror image, we want them to be pretty much as perfect as we can get it. The turbo kept moving around. It just made it annoying. If it was just a single turbo deal and it was just off to the side, wouldn't really matter. Pretty much the turbo lands where it lands. But with the mirror image and everything, needing everything to match, that just made everything so much easier. So yesterday, I should have filmed this and then done off camera the matching part. But yesterday, I knocked out one side of the turbo kit. The passenger side is done. The passenger side turbo is hanging. We've got some Maven mounts that we're going to end up going off of the bottom of the turbo right here to the frame rail. But just for right now, we've got this side pretty much mocked up. I fully welded everything around it just so that it wouldn't move. And now the hard part comes, and I've got to make this side match this side. Some people struggle with the first part and then know how to do it, knock the second one out, no problem. I'm complete opposite. I'll knock the first one out and I knock that out in a couple hours. And I'll be here all night trying to make this match that and make them perfect. They look pretty neat, so you can kind of see the turbo in there. Trying to get fresh air out of the grill for these things because we're not putting an intercooler on right now. Trying to grab as much fresh air from the front part of the car as we can. Try to keep the IATs down as much as possible. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get started on this side. Ryan has already cut me enough pie cuts to knock this side out. We went with 8 total. As you can see, it starts out with the pie cut, and then we used part of a 90-degree bend here. The wastegate's actually gonna come out and go pretty much straight forward toward the front bumper. I've already got all my pie cuts right here. I've got to cut one piece of the 90, which I believe it's right here. I just got to cut this piece back about right where the bend stops. And that should be pretty much all we need for the other side. So I'm going to start working on that, try to get this thing knocked out. finally finished with this thing, and well, I'm obviously not finished because they don't match. I'm actually pretty mad at myself. In my head, I was gonna weld it all up except for the T4 flange. I was just gonna leave that tacked. I was gonna mount it up here, make sure that my angles were right on the turbo so this one matched that one. And I'm just off in La La Land welding away, and I welded that bad boy all the way around until I realized that is not what I wanted to do. So it's off a little bit. I'm gonna have to cut it. I'll just cut the T4 flange off right there. One thing I was really struggling with is trying to decide if I wanted them center of the grill or center of the engine. The engine is actually to the passenger side 2 inches. You can see it in the, the header's pretty close right there, and then we got all the room in the world over here. So the engine is offset, so trying to get the turbos to be centered with the grill, and then you open it up and it not look goofy, because this pipe's going to be longer than this pipe's going to be longer than this pipe. I kind of had to choose a happy medium, bring this turbo in just a little bit so that it still looked good in here, and then you wouldn't be able to tell up top. But obviously I failed on welding that piece up, so these aren't even gonna line up with each other, but we're planning on doing 2 merges right into the throttle body. So yeah, just gonna give this thing a whack right here and spin that turbo just a hair. I mean, it needs ever so slightly spun, and she'll be matching up perfect. Like I said, I got this one clocked wrong. I could twist this and bring that turbo back up to where it's supposed to go. And then, yeah, you can see right there that driver's side turbo just needs brought in just a hair. Like I said, like a 1/4 of an inch, but it's off and it's gonna look goofy, so we might as well fix it. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be the end of this video right here. Got this turbo sitting exactly how we want it. It's clocked a little wrong, but once they're both clocked right, they were pretty even. So, yeah, we got the thing knocked out. Then we put the radiator up under it and decided we're about to cut all these up and probably restart. But we didn't like how the radiator fit. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with this thing and how we're going to go about it. But forward-facing turbos is something we want unless we put an intercooler on it. Plan was to not do an intercooler, but now talk is possibly do an intercooler and mount the turbos over here. I don't know. We might just leave them and mount the radiator there. The only problem we have is the bottom of this bend gets pretty close to the radiator, and we don't want to be melting the ends of the radiator. So maybe a different size radiator. Maybe redo the hot side. I mean, in reality, this hot side actually took like a night to throw together. So since it didn't take very long, I mean, it's not like we're taking many steps backwards, but Ryan got nice flanges for here and for the turbo, so we could just cut those off and reuse those. Those are nice billet flanges. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, I guess.
Pretty much.
It's all part of it. But yeah, if we go non-intercooled, just these 2 go into 1 right into the throttle body. I was actually reading last night about guys running flat radiators, not even angling them, just completely flat. You gotta have a killer fan, and the problems that they were having was it would overheat driving, but sitting still it would not, which is like what guys struggle with on rear mount radiators. So yeah, that's gonna finish off this video. So thank you guys for watching. There'll be more updates on this thing. It was supposed to be done by now, but you know how it goes. My Nova, yeah, she's toast. We're putting her in the other garage. We don't have time to work on it. So get this thing done. We got work to do to the orange Camaro. Ryan's messing with some stuff that you might have already seen already. I don't know. It's for that car. For that car. I don't know when this video is going out yet, but that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, not the good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I'll pop off when I hear